Hello, all. Welcome to the YouTube channel of Petroleum from Scratch. I'm Jeshchar, and this is Data Analytics and Machine Learning playlist. So, in our last video, we talked about indexing in higher dimensional arrays. So, in this video, we are going to talk about slicing in higher dimensional arrays. Slicing basically means accessing multiple elements from higher dimensional arrays. So, we are going to make a small set from a bigger set of high dimensional arrays. By high dimensional arrays, I mean to say for 2D arrays or 3D arrays or 5D arrays, anything. So we will start our discussion. So our first step is importing Numpy as NP, generally the first step. So first of all, we are going to talk about the 2D array. So I am going to create a 2D array of 4 cross 5. Here you can see this is ARR is a 4 cross 5 2D array. You can see and dim its dimension. It is of 2. So I want to make slice of first row to third row. The data in first row to third row. To do that, I will use my square brackets. I will write the index of my starting row, that is 1 for this row, second row. For second row, my index will be 1, and for the fourth row my index will be 3. So I'm going to write AR 1 colon 4 because the last row will not be taken. And here you can see I got the subset of these 3 rows from from second row to fourth row. So yeah, this is similar to 1D arrays. It is only the only difference is in 1D array, when we are using 1 colon 4, we are getting the 3 elements that are present at first index, second index, and third index. And again, if I also use a second colon here and give a two step size of 2, I'm going to get my I'm going to get this second row and fourth row. This third row will disappear because I'm giving a step size of 2. Here you can see. Now this was slicing across the rows. Now I got these 2 rows. I want to have only these 6, 7, and 67 and 32, these 4 points. For doing that, what I need to do, I have to use comma. As we used in indexing, we used comma for assessing across the column wise. For assessing the data column wise, we use comma. So after comma, I have to write the index of the column that I want. And this 6 and 67 is corresponding to 0, 1 to second index. So I basically want my second index and third index. So I'm going to write 2 colon 4. So it is going to return me, sorry, I have written ARR, AR. So it is going to return me these 4 elements of the array. So again, in this also we can use a step size. When I'm going to write to 2 to 5 and giving a step size of 2, so giving a step size of 2, so it is going to return me 6, 8, 67, and 53. It is going to skip this 7 and 32. Here you can see. So this was slicing in 2D array. Now we will move our discussion further. So okay, one more thing. Here my array is this. So I want to reverse my array row wise. I want this last row at the first place and my first row in the last place, the second last row in the second place, like that. So that can also be done. How to do? Just guys, try to you do some permutation and combination and try to run your mind. You will get the answer automatically. So basically what I have to do, I need to start from my -1 index, my last row, and I have to go to my 0th index row, my first row, with the step size of -1. Here you can see, sorry, I will remove this. Here you can see I have reversed the array along row wise. Along row wise, I have reversed the array. My last row is coming at the first place. My first row is coming at the last place. So what happened when I entered 0 here? So it is, as you know, in slicing or indexing, it doesn't goes to the stopping point. It doesn't include stopping points. That's why the first row was not included here. This first row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was not coming right down here. That's why I just need to remove this 0 and pass my starting point as -1, my step size as -1. So here you can see I have reversed my array in row wise situation. Now I want to reverse my array in column wise situation. So For doing that, what I have to do, I just need to write double colon, so that it is providing that all the rows will be taken, or just give single colon. This single colon says that all the rows will be taken from this array ARR. And now for column wise operation, I need to provide, again I need to start from my -1, my last column, and I need to go towards these towards the left hand side, means towards the 0. So I'm going to um, stay the stopping point as nothing. I will remain the stopping points and nothing, and I will use another column for giving my step size. So again, my step size I am going to give -1, because I want to reverse the direction. I want to come in the minus direction. So yeah, here you can see our this array has been reversed column wise. My last column is coming at the first place. Now my first column is in the last. Like that, you can see the columns has been switched in this array. So by using this slicing operation, you can manipulate your numpy array as the way you want. This was the example of the 2D array. Now we are going to see one example for 3D array, that how the slicing will work in 3D array. So I am going to create an array. I am going to create an 3D array. I'm just taking this. So here we go. We have this 3D array AR. So here you can see my 3D array consists of three 2D arrays lying on the top of each other. So now I want to slice this 3D array. So first my first condition, my first operation, I want to have this second 2D array and third 2D array. So first of all, I'm going to write AR. I'm going to give square bracket. So the first operation that is going to be done through which 2D arrays of this whole 3D array you want. So I want my second and third 2D array. So I'm going to pass according to the index. This 2D array is going to be is corresponding to 0th index. This is going to the first index. This is going to the second index. And these indexes I am talking in terms for arrays, in terms for 2D arrays. I'm not talking in terms for rows or in columns. I'm first of all, because here you can see this our 3D array is consisting of three 2D arrays. So I'm talking about these three 2D arrays. I'm talking about the indexes of the these three 2D arrays. So I want to slice my second array and third array. So first operation is going to slice through arrays. So I want my second array that is having an index 1, and I want my third array also that is going to have index 2. So I'm going to write AR 1 colon 3. So it is going to return me second array and third array. Now from these two arrays, I want to extract the second rows from this second rows from both of these arrays. So I'm going to write AR1 colon 3. Now when I'm going to give space, it will now take the row wise operations, that okay, which row I want. So I want to extract my second row. So I'm going to write like this. So here you can see I have extracted my second row for each of these arrays, 34, 78, 23, and 56, 67, 45. These two rows has been sliced from my main array. Now I want to assess the middle elements from these two arrays, from these two rows of the arrays. So what I have to do now, my third operation will come again, one of the comma. So I've written this. I've written this. Now my this comma will after this comma, the operation will be done on columns. So what index of column I want first index of my column. So I'm going to write 1. Okay, let us assume that I want these two elements. So I'm going to write 1 colon 3. So it is going to give me these four elements, two from the upper array, two from the lower array. So when I'm going to shoot this code, here you can see I am able to assess the 78, 23, and 67 and 45. So now you see the original array, that was this 3D array consisting of three 2D arrays. From this 3D array, I have assessed my 78 and 23, these two, and 67 and 45, the last two elements from the last two 2D arrays. from the whole 3D arrays I am able to slice. So in a similar way, depending on the situation, that what type of slicing you want, what type you need, what type of data you need to slice from the original data, in depending on that you can use the slicing operation. Now let us talk about some higher dimensional arrays. High D arrays. So yeah, let us create a high dimensional array of dimension 5. Here you can see I have created an array consisting of 1 2 3 4 5 6, and giving the dimension as 5, and the mean parameter as 5. So my array will be of 5 dimensional, as you can also see from the number of square brackets present, or you can also see by arr dot end. So this is a five dimensional array. Now from this array I want to assess my these elements. I want to assess 2 3 and 4. So what I need to do, again, as you can see from the above examples, in 2D arrays we will be able to use one comma. We will be able to perform two operation, one along row wise, second along column wise. In 3D arrays, in 3D array, actually this was for 3D array. Wait a minute. In 2D array, we were able to perform two operation, one along row wise and the other along column wise. In 3D array, we were able to perform three operation, one along the array wise, because in 3D arrays the multiple 2D arrays were present. One along the array wise, then one along the row wise, then one along the column wise. So in that way you were able to perform three types of operation. So in 5 dimensional array, 5 dimensional array, I want to assess 2 3 and 4, which are present in my last which are present as 1 dimensional array in these 5 dimensions. So here I can use 5 operation, but as you can see, the all the other dimensions are empty, only 1 dimensional thing is present. So for doing this, you just need to write a square brackets. You need to write column, colon, comma, colon, comma, colon, comma, colon, 4 times, that are considering your 4 dimensions. And for my last dimension, I now, after these 4 colons, I have entered in my this last 1D array. So for my last this 1 dimension, I want to assess my 2 3 and 4. 2 is present on the first index, second index, and third index. So I'm going to write 1 from my first index to my fourth index. So it is going to return me 2 3 and 4. Here you can see. In that way, if our 5 dimensional array or 6 dimensional array is consisting of multiple arrays, in by using this type of slicing operation, you will be able to slice elements according to your need. Now, why do we need slicing operations? As we discussed earlier in our one-dimensional slicing operations video, that by using slicing operation, we can perform multiple reservoir calculation. As we discussed an example, for flow rate calculation by using permeability values, by considering a reservoir as a linear reservoir and dividing that into 5 grids in a linear way, and calculating flow rates at different grids by using permeability value. Now, by using 2D arrays, we can visualize it from the upper area. We can visualize it in an upper view. Our reservoir can be visualized in an upper view. So we will have a good visualization for our reservoir. And when we are going to use 3D arrays, that you can make your artificial reservoir itself, synthetic reservoir itself. So I'm going to give you an example for 2D array, how you can visualize your reservoir. Consider I'm making a 2D array of permeability. I'm watching my reservoir from top, and I'm seeing it area wise, that okay, different blocks of area is having different permeability. So I am assigning my reservoir into various grids, and my assigning my permeability as values for those grids. So I'm going to make a 2D array for my permeability. Here you can see I made a 2D array, and these points are representing, wait, if I all permeability. So yeah, these points are representing different grids of my reservoir, and the value at those points are representing the value of permeability at that area, because your reservoir is an heterogeneous type of reservoir, so different areas are going to have different permeability. If you are going to use 3D arrays, you will be able to totally visualize your reservoir. You will be able to totally simulate your reservoir in a Python function. So from here, but here we are talking about 2D. So now I want to visualize this more. So we can use Seaborn library. It's just for showing you how things actually work. No need to worry. These all things will be covered in the coming videos. We are going to discuss Matplotlib as well as Seaborn, but it is just an example so that you can get the feel. So I'm going to import Seaborn as SNS. SNS is again nothing but alias for Seaborn, as we used NP for Numpy. So now I'm going to plot. Oh yeah, I also need to import matplotlib.pyplot. Matplotlib I am importing to setting my for setting the figure size of my image, figure size of my figure that we are going to plot right now. So I have imported matplotlib.pyplot. Matplotlib is basically a MATLAB plotting library that has been coded into Python and named the package as matplotlib. So I have imported matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. PLT is again my alias for matplotlib. Now I am going to plot. Now I am going to plot my figure for this permeability, so I can visualize. So I'm going to provide a figure size. Figure size. I'm going to provide of 8,6 figure size, and after that I'm going to use heat map of seaborne heat map, and I'm going to write permeability. So here you can see now you are able to visualize your reservoir from the top view. So this is your reservoir, each point corresponding to different grids, and the shade of that point is going to tell that okay, the value of permeability of this grid is 10 millidarcy or something. That you can see from here, from scale you can see here that the dark black point is corresponding to 10 millidarcy. Okay, these are corresponding to, these are near to 10 millidarcy. Value of permeability in these blocks are near to 10 millidarcy, and again the lighter points are having higher values for permeability. So in that way you can visualize your permeability. Now where slicing comes, now you have this whole reservoir. Now you want to perform some operations in this part of reservoir only, in this block of reservoir only. In that thing, again I'm going to write my permeability 2D array so I can see. So yeah, this is visualizing these points of permeability array. Now I want to work on only these 4 points. So for working on these 4 points, I need to use slicing. So I'm going to slice these 4 points. So these are corresponding to the this point is corresponding to the one row index and two column index, and this is corresponding to two row index and two row index and two column index. So I'm going to write, so I want rows from index 1 to 2. So I'm going to write 1 colon 3, and I want my columns from index 2 to 3. So I'm going to write 2 colon 4. So here I am able to assess these 4 elements. So I'm going to store them in a new variable. Let us say perm1. Perm1, I have saved them in perm1. Now I'm going to again plot the same thing for my for my smaller subset, for my smaller area of reservoir. I'm just going to pass perm1. So here you can see I have made a subset from the larger reservoir. So you see the point. If you have values for you, if you have grid values, reservoir properties for your reservoir, you have reservoir properties for your whole reservoir, but you want to perform some operation in some small area of the reservoir. In that case, you need to use Numpy slicing operations. So I think that's all for today, guys. We have discussed in this video lecture about slicing in higher dimensions, and after that we have seen an amazing example of that, how you can use slicing in petroleum engineering. In the next video we are going to discuss an important function, that is reshape, because reshape is going to be used wholly. Listen, actually what is the matter, guys, that Numpy itself consists of 100 to 200, not 100, many thousand of functions. but all the functions are not important that much. You are going to use some less number of functions. Like one is reshape, that is very important function that you are going to use in your deep learning, machine learning, everywhere. These slicing things you should know how to use, so that can be helpful in doing some reservoir simulation work or something. And there is this random function generator function, random number generator function that you are going to use again in deep learning and machine learning. So in the next video we are going to discuss reshape function, so that you get a good idea that how reshape works, how you can reshape the any numpy array. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. I think you like the video, so please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Bye bye.